it is good seeing you, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I don't think we've ever talked in not person, but I mean face to face, have we?
We FaceTimed a few times, especially during season 2 when we were kind of talking stuff out with Elliot, the editor and producer of episodes in season 2. So yeah, we did then, but gosh, it must have been like 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
I know you look a lot. I'm looking back right here. I know it's kind of overexposed, but you look so young. You look like you've gained some years. Some life has happened, huh?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Kind of explain, just so people that don't know who you are, give a quick, how we met and let's start from the beginning.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
Okay, so the way I met Charles and the rest of Cruella, I think you were called Blackheart Cinema back then.
Yeah.
Oh, you changed channel names a few times, but I was on YouTube and I've always been a huge Batman fan, or at least I became a Batman fan like in my teenage years. It started with like the Arkham series, that sort of thing. So I was on YouTube, and I'm not sure if YouTube still has it, but back then they had like an email feature. So I was checking my emails one day, and I got an email saying like, "Oh, this is the Asylum. It's like this Batman web series." So I'm like, "All right, I'll check it out. I like Batman." So I watched it, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." But there's like I don't know. There was some stuff where I was like, maybe you could, fix up a few things. So I emailed back. I'm like saying like, "Hey, this is what I do here, and like a day later, I'm like, "Man, I was really harsh with that criticism." So I sent a second email saying like, "Hey, man, like I wasn't trying to rustle any jimmies or whatever, but like, I'm pretty passionate about Batman and everything, and I see a lot of potential for this." So that's how you and I got to talking, because you were like, no, like I got all the criticism and everything.
Yeah.
And from there, I believe you were in season 1 at that time. So I think it was like season 1, episode 4 or something. You're like, "Hey, do you want to send in like a 6-second cameo?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll do it." So I remember I had like white pants and a white t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
So I just like filmed this like I was like an asylum patient, even though everyone else in the asylum was wearing orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Whoops. But I was like, it's just whatever. So yeah, you put that into episode 4, and then episode 4 ended up getting like, it was an incredible amount of views. I can't remember how much it was. It was like at least 5 digits.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was like 20,000 or higher than that.
Very fastly, I think it was around 20, but overall now, it's gone over 100. I think it's close to like 200 or something, it was crazy. I remember like, I think a lot of, definitely at that time, there was starting to be more and more Batman series, and we'll talk about one. I know me and you could geek out in a minute about another one, but there was, there was a lot at that time, and it was really cool because YouTube was big, but not as big as it is now, and we had all these Batman series or just hardcore fans reaching out to us. And basically me and Mike just went separately though. Like he went and got a loan and got a camera. I went and loaned and got a camera. We just started making movies, having no idea what, you know what I mean? Like this was like the first time we were learning how to even like edit and stuff. And so yeah, it wasn't great, and I think everyone that reached out to us kind of said that in a nice way, but everyone was such huge Batman fans that they're just like, but this is cool though. Like, and a lot of them were filmmakers like yourself. And there were some others from New York, and me and Mike were like, there's some people that are just like, "Hey, cool." But then there were some that actually wanted kind of a little bit of like a relationship and just like more talking back and forth with you. And there was that Nightwing series in New York. And so we were like, yeah, they were like, "Hey," or no, me and Mike were like, do you think if we asked some of these people like to be part of it somehow? And we didn't know how. So when we wrote 4 and there was a prison scene, I said that feels the easiest way we could just insert people in. So yeah, that I thought that was because where were you living at the time? We were in California. Where were you?
I'm all the way over on the East Coast. So yeah, we're exactly 3 hours behind. So or ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that made it difficult. Like we couldn't do too much, and it was like so hard for us to get this together.
Yeah.
Time difference, whatever. But yeah. So I'm still over on the East Coast. So,
You're going to school now, right?
Well, it's interesting. I actually just got my bachelor's last December.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just got a job back in my county, and then with that, I'm actually going to start up going for my master's degree here.
Oh, very nice, man. Very nice. Before we get to season 2 and how it moved on, so the series we were talking about earlier is the Joker blogs. Were you watching that one first? Did that one catch your eye first? Yeah. Oh, and it's
yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, the Arkham, like the Arkham series, like Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, the video game series. For those not in the know, but gosh, it's been 10 years. Please play those games.
Yeah, please.
But actually, what first got me into it, I'd say the Arkham series is what expanded my knowledge into saying like, oh, there's cooler villains out there than just Joker.
Yeah.
But the very first thing that got me into Batman was The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker. So the Joker blogs being a fan series that kind of picks up where The Dark Knight leaves off, where his name's Scott McClure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scott McClure is playing Heath Ledger's Joker in Arkham Asylum, and it's just like at first it's like this kind of low budget like found footage thing, and it's just him like in a therapy session with Dr. Harlan Quinzel, which fans know how that turns out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I got into that first, and then just from there, because of those guys, it's just like, oh, there's so many Batman series out there, so it's just like, hey, it keeps popping up and popping up. So,
yeah,
I think that might have been how YouTube's like algorithms or something
Mm-hmm.
somehow got that in my inbox or something. But it's pretty cool that we're still talking like 5 years later after the fact.
Yeah. Do you follow them on Instagram?
I actually don't have an Instagram.
Oh.
So they coming back.
They released a picture of the Joker and said, I'm pretty sure it was Scott, I want to say, but I'm not sure. But he was just like, there's a lot of days that I think about, I don't know exactly how he put it, but basically when the world will get to see the finished couple of episodes. And I was like, like, I know they have to, me and Andrew, the guy that played Ted, we were on talking terms for a while. He was almost in that, he was almost going to make a cameo as Ted in the prison escape. And then in season 2, yeah. And we tried so hard. And then, but he was filming, I think, the further evidence episodes. Yeah. And then in season 2, we tried to get him in again. And he was filming season 2 for the Joker blogs. And they were just, and me and him ended up writing a script together, though, called Tag. But I never released it. But yeah, me and him were pretty cool for a minute. And then, but I haven't talked to him in a minute. I got off social media for a couple of years. And then when I came back, I don't know. I never reached back out to him. And I don't want to be like, cause we were always, I tried really hard not to be like, what's up with that Joker blogs, man? You know what I mean? Like I want to know so bad, but yeah, that, I'm hoping they'll come back for that.
Yeah, me too, because I think they planned like 10 episodes for season 2, and they just, I don't know what exactly happened, but they just have been in production hell for the past like 6 or 7 years with that or something. It's something ridiculous, but
I think it's because the standards for 2 were so like, when I go back and watch the Asylum season 1, I'm just like, there's cool moments, I'm not like, there's cool moments, but I'm just like, God, we should have took like, but we didn't know anything, but there's just a lot of things I'm like, yeah, like some of it just breaks my heart, and I'm just like, and their season 1, is good, but it's nowhere near season 2. Season 2 is like professional. Like you could see it on TV right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even on top of that, like, the first half of season 1 is not like the second half of season 1. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that. They got like funding or something, but like the quality and just like the places that they went and everything like that, it just skyrocketed. I was just like, man, dude, like I liked this before, but this is a really good series.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Now season 2, let's talk about, so season 2, I always, out of everyone we worked with, out of all the people we reached out to make a cameo, I talked to the Nightwing people a lot, but there was just something, me and you, I felt like just had a connection. You know what I mean? You were very cool and nice, and you were like, everyone, I was basically like, hey, you're escaping jail. And they're like, cool, we'll send you some footage. But you were like, why? What am I feeling? Why am I doing this? You know? And so then when season 2 came up, I was like, I don't know how, but I would love to have Kyle come in and like, so me and you started having some talk. And that's probably when some of the times we were FaceTiming, like, what can we do? And we did run some ideas like, can we make it look like you're there? And then I think you came up with this idea. Do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
I would love to, yeah. So my whole thing with like, if I'm acting in a series, I want it to make chronological sense. So I knew like, okay, they saw me in the asylum. What can we do from there? Like can we explain like why he was in the asylum? Can we show like what he does after the asylum? And I kind of hit a roadblock. I'm just like, I don't know what to do here. But you do have one comic book, not very well known. It's The Killing Joke.
Couple people's read it. Couple,
yeah,
handful.
They call it a cult classic. So that's like the one where Joker falls in the acid and he becomes Joker. But at the very end, there was, in this particular comic, and I don't know if this is in every Killing Joke or whatever, but there's let me see if I can put there's a few panels called An Innocent Guide. So this is just kind of like at the very end, like an epilogue, and it goes in line with the Killing Joke's philosophy that it only takes one bad day to drive a man insane, but they kind of take that and flip it on its head, where it says, where it kind of explores the idea behind like what makes someone good, and the whole philosophy, which you'll see if you I think it's season 2, episode 2 of the Asylum. I basically just read that comic verbatim, but I kind of make it my own. Like I kind of throw in like my own little tirades and stuff. But basically it's this guy who feels like he's lived a good life.
Real fast, before you go any further, can I just give you a hand of applause? Because like 2 episodes were just you in front of a computer for like 10 minutes and you don't get bored for like 1 second. Like I just showed one of my good friends, somebody I'm slightly talking to. We watched it because she was like, oh, I saw that you did a Batman series and whatnot. So we're on season 2 now. And she was like, this guy is really good. And I was like, it wasn't it? And I was like, and it's just him by himself, you know, like that has to be hard, but it was super good. So not to interrupt you, but I'm sure I've told you, but I wanted to tell you again that was super amazing.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And that's also like part of the thing from like Joker blogs, where I'm like, okay, it's just a guy from a camera in front of the camera. How do I make this interesting? So I came up with little ideas to put in front of it. But so going back to the idea, it's about a guy who feels like he's lived a good life and everything, but he feels like he's only lived a good life because he's afraid of punishment, namely going to jail or hell or something. So he feels like to prove to himself, or maybe even to God, that he's a good person because he chooses to be, he's willing to set off and do the worst thing he feels he can possibly do in order to show he can come back from that, to show like he can still be a good person even though he's done a horrific thing. And because he has limited resources and he lives in Gotham, he realizes that the worst thing he's able to do is kill Batman because it would throw the entire city into chaos. So, he tries, he fails, and that's how he ends up in Arkham Asylum. So that's kind of where my arc comes off from. I think we showed the assassination attempt in season 2, episode 3. He doesn't even get a shot off, so he's not prepared for this at all. But yeah, then the next 2 episodes, it just showed him kind of gradually deteriorating in Arkham Asylum, and eventually he gets broken out by Riddler. And we had a lot of ideas. Like, we were definitely planning to do something in season 3. It just didn't come to fruition because we had some really high hopes. I was trying to get more actors involved, and like it gets so much more difficult from that point.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating thing. Like, yeah, I hear you, man. But the 2 people you did get, there was 2, right? Yeah, they were all good.
Yeah. The one was my friend Colin, and he's actually the guy who got me into filmmaking / acting in the first place. We just did like an old comedy channel back in like 2012 or something. It was me, and I was the youngest of friends, like me, him, and like 4 other friends. And then the other one, Elliot, is he was the producer, and he was actually the guy who played the doctor in the asylum. So it would just be like me and him talking back and forth. You never saw him on camera because we designed it to be that in case we wanted to cast the doctor as someone else in the future. But they knew what they were doing, and thankfully we got some pretty good performances out of that. And the other thing with Elliot in particular, he was the one who edited, I believe it was season 2, episode 3. So, and then I think it was 6 and 7. No, 5 and 7 were me. Yeah. But I edited those 2, and you do need an editor because they were a bit lengthy.
They were good though.
Thank you.
We had to, we all had to do what we have to do, and it got done. And I'm always so proud of that. That me and you got to work together from being on, like other sides of the United States. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's so cool. We're able to communicate, work together, and have a finished product. And I'm always still blown away by that. I thought it was really awesome. And I'm so glad that you saw the email. I don't know how, I don't remember that, but like, I don't remember how YouTube used to work back in those days. I remember the only thing I remember back in those days is when Google Plus came out or something. And I remember it messed everything up. You remember yeah, it like messed everything up. And that kind of hurt our views and our comments, because I think before, couldn't anyone leave a comment or something?
I don't remember. I just remember like they forced you to get a Google Plus account if you had like a what is this?
That's the only thing I remember. But that's cool that you were like, let me check this out, and you actually reached out and everything. I'll always look. We don't always talk all the time. There's been times we've gone probably like a year, and we always catch up, and so it's super cool. What was your funnest part of filming season 2, or because you weren't really in 1 besides a cameo? So what was the most fun, and then what was the thing that you thought maybe wasn't going to work? Because those are like the 2 funnest things I like hearing about.
Okay, I can probably go through the filming process of every episode I did in season 2. So the episodes that were in were episode 2, episode 3, episode 5, and episode 7. So I had 4 episodes out of the 8 episodes that season. Episode 2 consisted of me sitting here, like right in this spot in front of this camera with this light on.
There it is.
So this is basically the episode with me reading from The Killing Joke. Oh,
that's nice. Yeah. Season 1 was almost all done in the garage, so.
Yeah. I remember be saying that, yeah. But then episode 3, it was crazy because what people might not know is Elliot doesn't live in the same town I do, so he came up just to film this over the course of like 3 days. So when you see episode 3, 5, and 7, that's all done within a 72-hour period of filming it back to back, and then editing it took a little bit longer, and then we got it out to you somehow.
That sounds kind of fun. Just having someone like come over and be like, "Hey, next 3 days we're working." That sounds fun.
It was so tiring, but
yeah.
But when we did episode 3, we actually went to, there's where I live, there's a bridge that goes over a roadway. So we actually drove out to this bridge, and there's quite a large side to the road. I can't remember what it's like, the curve or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we just parked there, and we had this like tiny blue camcorder, and it was just me filming. So Elliot was sitting behind it, kind of filming me, like looking up at me while I'm going through like, oh, should I kill Batman? Should I not kill Batman? I don't know. And just kind of having a panic attack there. This was done in December, and it wasn't cold. It was like 50, but it was raining. So I think we used a 5th take in that episode. And the way I usually film is I do it all in one long take because I feel like it's more authentic that way. So at the very end of the scene, I fall over onto the road because I'm hit with a batarang.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. You remember the wedding episode in the Joker blogs, and they're not really giving a lot away. That's when I knew, oh, this is gonna, like, for me at least personally, it changed everything. You know what I mean? Because everything was always just like, like, you know, right in front of it, and I got all the same vibes in that one. Like, just seeing, even though it's just like a batarang just thrown in front of the camera, you're just like, oh my God, like chills, and you're like, it's the Batman world, and you just get all excited. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool. I remember feeling that way when I watched that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say what was my favorite because I'm getting to another part that I really enjoyed as well. But yeah, we used a 5th take on that, so I've already thrown myself on the road like 4 times at the moment. So if I seem like super jittery, it's because I'm literally shivering. I'm being just cold and wet and everything else. But yeah, so we did that, and the funny thing is the scene we used, there was actually an old elderly couple who drove up behind us and were getting out to see if we had car trouble. So Elliot, being the true MVP, ran out and very quietly told him, "No, everything's fine. We're just filming something. It's all good." So yeah, shout out to Elliot. We still talk to him to this day. He's doing good. He's actually studying cinematography as a career path. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. He's legit.
Did you you remember? Did you ever watch our short film Firestorm?
Yeah.
The guy that was the guy. So the guy with the gun, he I loved working with him, but he went to the Marines like right after that, and he finally came out, and I was just getting in touch with him yesterday, and he's going to school for the same thing, you know, and I was like, dude, that's so cool. That's super cool.
That is so awesome. Yeah, that's nice. But yeah, that's crazy. Thank you for the service.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's see, going into, so that was basically episode 3, and then we go into episode 5 here. What we did was we went to a nearby YMCA.
Is that
we
this?
went into,
No, this one's 7.
No, that's we went into a nearby YMCA, and we asked if we could use the racquetball court. So they said, yeah, you can do whatever. So we set up a table in this racquetball court and 2 steel chairs. And
No money, no nothing. Was it super easy?
It was pretty easy. I live in a pretty quiet area, so like I live in a rural area, so they're like, yeah, he's not gonna do anything.
I think that was like my second thing that I told. I think I was like, dude, really good job. Where did you get that location? It was like, it fit everything. It was super cool. That was a really lucky location. You know, I thought, because you used it for all of this, right? The lockers and everything.
The Walkers was actually a different location.
Oh, okay.
It was a separate building where I actually worked at. I just ran it by my boss, and he's like, "Yeah, you can do whatever."
Oh, okay.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we filmed the therapy sessions in this racquetball room, and it's funny because there were other people playing racquetball, and you could kind of hear it in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And Elliot, who was playing the doctor, he played it off as if it was other inmates pounding on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, I didn't show it on camera or anything, but I'm thinking like, genius.
Yeah. It looked great. It looked great. It worked.
But then at the end of episode 5, it's the scene where it shows he's injecting me with something, and then I start having a seizure. I mentioned Colin, who was the guy who played Riddler. That was actually his family's warehouse, like workshop, where they, I think they make boxes or something. But he's like, yeah, I filmed in here before. Like, my dad doesn't care, so we went in there. We got this like very heavy steel table that was just lying around. We moved it under a light, and we just kind of went at it. And we also had pretty good cinematography for like the one. But my favorite shot of that is just the found footage where it shows the doctor like looming over me,
Mm-hmm.
just laying on the table.
And the music, the theme song starts, right? Yeah. It was awesome. That was so awesome.
And then like we had me like spitting out blood and stuff, like I bit my tongue. And I remember I wanted to put that in for one because I should probably mention who I'm playing. So,
right. I totally forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a teenager at the time. And I noticed that there's one villain in Batman lore who is also a teenager, and that is Lonnie Machin, whose name is Anarchy in the comics, right? And there's this one storyline in the comics where Anarchy finds out that his father might be the Joker. So we kind of wanted to play around with that, like for future stuff. So as like a little Easter egg, we had the blood coming out, like kind of in a smile. So it's like, oh wow, like maybe. So like if we were to follow that storyline down in the future, you can see like, oh man, like look, and he actually is in them. But yeah, so that was episode 5, and then episode 7, which is in the background there. We filmed in a variety of locations. I remember the ending shot was in the parking lot of that same building. And then I filmed the part where it seems like I'm going to jump. That was actually just the parking garage. So yeah, but it was pretty intense, like pretty stressful, like getting all that done in 72 hours. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And then when I'm running down the hallway, that was also in the same building as the locker one.
How weird was it? I've only got to do it once. We start the first thing that I ever did that like actually started, because back in that time when I used to tell people I made films, they were like, that's cute, you know? And now, you know, like I don't think anyone cares anymore. But the first one we did was like 10 minutes, and that kind of got you know, like I think it got like 1,000 views. So back then, you know, that was my first one to hit 1,000. It meant the world. So we made a year later to the day, we made a part 2, but it was supposed to be 10 minutes before that 10 minutes. And the only thing I got from that was I thought it was so cool to play a character that you've already played again. You get what I mean? Or so I was like, hey, this is 10 minutes before we did a year ago. It's kind of weird, but cool. How did you feel? Did you have any kind of feeling like that when you got to the escaping Arkham? Like, I did this 2 years. Was it a year before or 2 years? I can't remember the period of time between.
I think it was maybe 2 years. Yeah, I think it was maybe 2 years. I gotta be honest, I didn't feel that.
No, you didn't feel nothing.
Like, when I was in season 1, for one, I didn't know I was playing Anarchy. I was just like prisoner A or something.
Yeah.
And also I was just in there for like 6 seconds. So it's like, okay, I just screw scream and say like yes or whatever.
I remember I didn't even know your name yet. So I don't even think you get like a full credit. I think it's your YouTube channel that gets credit, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't know his name. And I was like, and we're like, we had deadlines too, you know? So I was just like, I looked you up on your YouTube channel and I was like, I hope you don't get mad.
Yes. Yeah. But it's all good. I think I gained like 2 subscribers, so.
You're all, yes.
My channel is
2.
very small, and I do not upload to it much, So.
Yeah, and that it's so hard. Like I really feel because we took a major break after we did a couple things after the Asylum really fast, you know. We were like 3 short films or something, and then we took years, killed it. And me and Mike are like, we're so busy with real life, we don't get to put a lot of stuff out, you know. So every time we take breaks, you just see it keep on like, everyone's like, who are these guys? Totally forgot, you know. Sucks, but
yeah, I mean, like with the real life stuff, like I remember I've been trying to shoot this short film for like maybe like 3 years at this point. And I've told you about this, the creepypasta psychosis. I was planning to make that into a film adaptation. I actually got in touch with the author and got the go ahead from him. And it's just like, man, it's so hard to find the time to do it.
yeah. Is yours time? Is it let's get a little personal and deep. Is it just time, or is it time and motivation? Because I feel like as we do, the one thing I love about the Asylum is like you could see like even your part, like, hey, can you film a cameo? You found that location, you had the clothes on. Like I feel like back then, you know, all of us were so motivated and so hungry. And now, like, not only is it time, but I feel like it may be 60% time, at least for me, and 40% motivation. I'm like, do I really want to do it? I do, but I mean, I don't like want to put, you know what I mean? Like, how is it for you?
I can kind of see it. For me, it's more just like other stuff gets in the way. And like specifically for me, spending 4 years in college, you know, trying to keep up with that. And me, I'm a perfectionist, especially when it comes to academia. So it's like I want to do the best I can. So I screw myself in studies. And it's just, and then just being in college is just like so draining, you know, because it's like you have to keep up with a bunch of different stuff.
You did some plays in college, though, right?
That's also true. Yeah. I did 3 other plays in college.
You did the real acting. That's the real stuff.
Yeah, so I can go into that real quick. If you know and when I say you, I'm talking to the audience. If you know the play Our Town, I played Simon Simpson, who is the town drunk, which is interesting because I don't drink at all. So
neither do I, brother.
Yeah, and it was actually funny because I was like, okay, I don't want to get drunk, but how do I act like I'm drunk? So I was just going off by like how I feel when I'm sleep deprived when I was doing that, and the lead actor of the show, his name's Nico. He would introduce me to people, and he said, hey, guess what? This kid's never been drunk before, and people would just look at me like, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Because it was like, that's spot on. Yeah. Then the next play I did was Much Ado About Nothing. I played Don John, who was the villain of the play.
Nice.
Yeah, that was cool. Doing Shakespeare was cool. But my favorite one that I did was a play called Wojciech. It's spelled like Wojciech, Woyzeck. It's a German play about a schizophrenic soldier in like the 1800s or something, and I was actually the lead. I actually got the lead role, so I was playing this schizophrenic soldier. And my degree is in psychology, so I studied like schizophrenia, and I was like, okay, I want to make this like as real and authentic as possible. And my gosh, we sold out a few nights. I think we had 6 performances. I think we sold out maybe 4 of those.
Didn't you get an award for one of these plays? I saw a picture. Was it of you or maybe your mom? Someone posted something, and you had like some kind of plaque or something. Am I tripping?
I'm not sure if I got an award.
It was.
I don't know, because
it was.
think I would have for Voitech, but by the time Voitech rolled around, they kind of stopped doing awards in the department entirely because
horrible.
they're like, yeah. And it was funny because
maybe it was just you graduating college. I could have sworn I saw something not that long ago, but
it might have been it.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been my diploma or something.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that might be it. But I had so much fun with Voitech, and I still think of like little ideas to do with it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I might end up trying to do a short film off of that. Then again, I have like 8 different ideas in my head that I'm working on. So,
of course, yeah. We're gonna have to. I know we've been wanting to talk for a while, but we're gonna have to bounce back and forth and try to do something so we could kind of both push each other to do something. You know, we started writing a Arrow spinoff. We started filming it. Once it was like episode 4, but the whole series is in a lot of people, and we got burnt out really fast, and we just stopped it. And then we're like, let's all take a break. And then during the break, I was just like, you know what? Here was the goal of this. We're not doing that. Like I was like, we lost what our story was, what the goal was. So we went back into a writing room and we just finished a script that we're all very, very happy with. So hopefully we'll do some Green Arrow stuff. Yeah, hopefully. But now with the quarantine and the Rona, hey, and you know what? Thank you. You were one of the first ones. There's been a lot of good friends that have been like, hey, just checking on you. But I think you were the first one. I think because you probably heard how bad it is over here. But you were like, hey, bro, I just want to check on you. And I was like, yeah, just at the house chilling, man. Can't do nothing. But yeah, and it's only getting worse over here. Nobody cares over here, dude. It's insane over here. Yeah. World's falling apart, sadly.
Yeah, it seems like it. 2020's been wild, but
they said there was freaking aliens, man, and no one blinked an eye.
But the government says like, hey, we have UFOs, and everyone's like, nah, I'm more concerned about murder hornets for like D-Day. Yeah.
Blew my mind, dude. That blew my mind.
Yeah. But I feel like with the Asylum, like especially for my art, I feel like we left a lot on the table, especially like with season 2, like showing like, hey, Flash is there, so there's a multiverse of sorts. And I've actually been studying quite a bit of like Batman lore. I have to show you this. This is my notebook where I'm actually going through and doing character bios for all of the Rogues Gallery. So
yeah.
I can flip through this. I have like 40 pages or something.
Oh my god, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And I'm only up to like R, so I'm on the Riddler right now. But
nice one.
Yeah, I'm like when I talk about the projects I have in mind, one of those projects actually is to kind of revamp what I call the Anarchy Chronicles, which is like the storyline that I had in the Asylum, and maybe putting that out at some point. I'm not sure if I can play the teenage protagonist anymore unless I get a shave or something. But yeah, we have I have some plans for that. So
I think then we've talked about that here and there, huh? I would. I'd be excited to see that, man, and help out in any way I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to see if I can. I can't make any promises here, but yeah. I'll have to see if I can like fly out to Cali once this like wraps up, and maybe we could do like a week or something of just filming.
We've talked about that before. Like, dude, one of us are gonna have to fly one day, and you know what? Yeah. I've never flew in my life.
There, so it might well be me.
But I finally I got this new job, an editing job at a small production, and they flew me to Wisconsin. Yeah, thank you. They flew me to Wisconsin to go film this DVD, and you know what? I love flying. I'd be so willing. So we will definitely have to talk about it, and film. If you did all that in 3 days, we could do something cool. You know what I mean?
We could. Yeah, and the way I approach acting and just like the way I dive into it, like I feel like we can make some magic.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have to do so. It's been too long, man. We've been saying this forever. How old are you now?
I am about to turn 23 this year.
You're all. Oh my God! So how old were you in the Asylum season 1?
Let's see. It was 4 years ago. Season 1
was in 2013.
I would have to say I was 15 or 16.
Oh.
I know for a fact when I did season 2, I was 17.
Okay.
I do know that. Yeah, because I think that was 15, but
I knew you were young.
maybe I was 18.
I didn't think you were so young.
Yeah, I was in high school when I was filming season 1, season 2.
How cool.
Yeah.
You're like, who's this old guy talking to me? No, that's super cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and then like I was preparing for like other things to do, like if we were to do a season 3, like bring that in. And I actually, if you look up, and when I say you, I'm talking to the audience again. If you look up Anarchy, which I'll wait for you to look them up.
Go ahead.
One, okay, you should have them up on your screen right now. He has a bunch of different masks that he wears, depending on who it is. So I actually got a few masks just from like costume shops. So I'm gonna have this silver mask you can wear. Yeah. So part of works better. I have a hood.
Mm-hmm.
This looks a bit too Dr. Doom, but I still like it.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I have a gold one, which I look slightly better because in some comics it's gold.
You should put on the hood and turn off the light. Yeah. Okay, cool.
The last one I'm a huge fan of because this mask I actually made from a mold in my own face. And I actually created this mask myself. So it's something about it, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's creepy. That's a good one, man.
Yeah, you can barely see my eyes. But, yeah. So, with that, it's interesting how I ended up making this. I remember it was like in an art class one day. And I actually convinced the teacher to let me pour plaster of Paris on my face. I used Vaseline, so it didn't stick or anything, so I only lost a couple eyelashes. Yeah, so we did that. I was breathing through straws on my nose for about an hour. They took it off and it immediately broke, so I did the same thing the next day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but this mask is just made out of newspaper and watered down glue. So if I wear it too long, it kind of starts to fall apart. And if you see on the inside, well, you can't really see, but there's a bunch of like different things and stuff that just have come over time. And I think it gives it a lot more character. So
yeah,
that would definitely be something that if we use this in the future,
yeah,
I think you'll see that a little bit.
That looks cool. Your light, when you turn off the light, what's hitting your face? Just a computer screen?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it works so perfect, man.
Yeah. No. Going back to episode 2, where I'm just sitting here in the dark, and I actually had glasses on at the time, and you can see kind of like the computer screen in the glasses, but you can't see what it was. What I was doing was I actually typed out like the script. I was just reading the script back and forth, but I didn't want the audience to see my eyes moving. So I came up with the glasses because I knew the reflection would be there, so they wouldn't be able to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would I loved how good you did, because now that I think about it, just when you were saying that scene, I was like, I think our trailer was like a minute and 45 seconds, and then the whole first minute of it was nothing but like a monologue from your. I thought it was so good. You know what I mean? I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
Let me try to. Oh wait, it should be right here somewhere. That trailer too. I don't know what shirt we made, like 2, I think, huh? I don't know, but I love that trailer, and I thought that was a cool way. You like throw the glasses, and it was so good. It was so good.
I think that Batman's spying on me, so I'm like, oh no. Yeah. So I freak out. I like throw the glasses and everything. I'm actually not sure if that was on purpose.
Oh, you sold it.
Yeah. That's one of the things. Actually, I have a funny story about that. When I was doing Wojtek, the play where I played the schizophrenic, there was one scene in the play where the premise of the play is I have a wife and I'm a soldier, right? My wife was cheating on me with another soldier in the army. So there's at one point I go and confront the soldier, and it was written in the script that he had to just like destroy me, like beat me up or something. And we're like, how do we do that on stage and make it look legit? So what we had done,
I was like, yeah, that would be hard. Yeah.
So leading up to him beating me up, he's trying to get me to drink alcohol, like vodka or something, and I keep refusing it. So what we came up with, I take the vodka, which was water. I took a swig and I spit at him. So he shoves me to the ground and he empties this bottle of water on my face. So I basically get waterboarded on stage, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like it sucked, but it wasn't bad. You know, like it was like I can tolerate this because I can kind of like move my head side to side. But after that scene, I had to go off stage, get a mop, and then clean up the mess so no one else slipped. And that was like the next scene. Like I'm cleaning up, I'm talking to one of my friends, and it was opening night, and I go to get this mop out, and the head of the mop actually just falls off.
Oh.
So I'm standing there. I'm not breaking character or anything. I'm just staring at this mop head. Everyone in the crowd's laughing. Everyone on stage is laughing. I'm just looking at this mop head like I hate it. I set it down so slowly. I pick it up and I just stare at it. And I get on my hands and knees and I start mopping up the water while I'm delivering my lines, and it works so well. You're
a professional, man, because if that would have happened to me in front of a crowd, I would have what do I do?
I can keep my cool.
Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
Oops, sorry.
But that's just one of those things, like when mistakes happen, especially when you're acting, you just gotta embrace them and see what goes with it.
Yeah.
I'm very much within the Joaquin Phoenix school of acting, where it's like something happens, just flow.
Did you like season 2 more, besides, you being in season 2 a lot? Did you like season 2 more than 1?
It's hard to say. I feel like 1 had a more definitive conclusion, but I also feel like 2 had a lot more stuff in it, like where you were introducing the Suicide Squad. So I think honestly season 2 was kind of like more of a building season.
Mm-hmm.
While season 1 was kind of just there and like established, but at the same time, like we had both grown as filmmakers, so there were aspects of season 2 where it's like, okay, this makes more, like this looks better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stuff like since then, and it's really improved.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. What we need to figure out, what kills me sometimes, is just audio. Audio is like, it's always the bitch, but without audio, it just makes everything seem so bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of people. I feel like season 1 was not so good, but for some reason it has such a more special place for everyone. A lot more people told me, season 2 was okay. And I was like, what? I was like, I thought it was like worlds better than season 1. You know what I mean? Like, and like you said, I think like even now we've improved since season 2. You know what I mean? That was years ago now, but Yeah, I never get that. When I think the only thing I could see when I try to step back is like maybe one seemed very grounded and dirty, and season 2 seems more superhero-ish, if anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that turns some people off or something. I don't know.
I can get that. I get that for sure. But yeah, if we're able to either reboot it or continue with it, you know, I think we can do some pretty good stuff. Like I've written a lot just for other characters. Like the one idea I had for Riddler was, well, first of all, we actually had a Riddler on your side in season 1. He was in like one episode. He caused the Asylum breakout, and then in season 2, it's my guy. So it's like, wait, what happened there?
Mm-hmm.
And to explain that, we were planning to make Riddler not just one character, but like a kind of like a cybercrime unit, like anonymous, and like have it be some sort of criminal organization.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, who's the figurehead or
yeah.
Yeah. So that's just one idea that we were thinking about, like still keeping true to the comics, but also taking it in a different, maybe more realistic direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, I have a very unique way to do the Joker and Batman relationship. I don't want to go into it right now because we might use it for the future, but I'll have to talk to you about it, and I think it's good.
I would definitely. I think as I'm getting older and older, that my films are going to come more and more take longer. As in, like, I don't think, you know, because last year I think we had a lot. I think we had like 15 with Instagram and YouTube. I think we had like 15 shorts come out last year. This year we've had none because of the pandemic, you know. But besides last year, I think I was already feeling it at the end of it that I was like, I think we're getting to that point where it may start being like, we're going to get to where it's like maybe one a year. You know what I mean? So what would mean a lot to me, I really hope, I wouldn't say it's a goal, but it's a dream, is that we could do one more season of the Asylum. You know, I think I've always looked at it like it'd be cool to do 3 seasons and wrap everybody up. Get everybody together one more time. Even if they're dead, we'll do a flashback or something. Just get the whole crew together one more time. I think it would be really cool.
Especially if I could come out there.
Yeah.
And actually act with other people, because I remember I was messaged by a bunch of people. Like I was messaged by Glenda, who was Amanda Waller with the Suicide Squad, saying like, oh, I can't wait to maybe do a scene with you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, that will never happen, but thank you.
Then Joel, who played, I believe it was Deadshot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joel was saying like, hey, I had this idea for a short film, and I was wondering like if you could do it. And I was thinking like, oh, he's sending me the script to do it on my own or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I read through it. I'm like, yeah, this looks good. When do you want me to film? And he's like, I don't know. When are you available? I have another guy. And I'm like, oh.
That's Joel wrote me 5 minutes after the episode came out, and he was like, who the fuck is this guy? He is fucking great.
Yeah.
Joel's cool. Joel was I don't know if you ever heard, we met through the Asylum, like me and you, and he was supposed to, we just wanted to say, hey, we have a Deadshot in this world. He was supposed to come and never be talked about again, and we all fell in love with Joel. He's been a good friend ever since, like a really close friend.
Yeah, I follow him every now and then on like I still keep up with him on Facebook. We're Facebook friends, so
yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yeah,
I like him.
Did it's weird because we filmed I can't say the name of it. It's a French name. One of our short films. Did you see that one with Rachel? It's like
Ray Schindler.
Yeah, it was a short film we did when she's fucking, how do I put it? She wakes up in a bathroom. And she gets up and how do you say that? Coupe de I don't know. It's the one.
How long ago was it?
It was. Oh, it's not telling me. Probably.
I can't speak French.
Yeah. Do you?
I just saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Johannes was there. So that was our first one back. I think after I don't think it came out in that order, but it was the first time we were all back together in years. Like even me and Mike. I had a bad breakup with my kid's mom, and then my dad passed away. Just like all this stuff kept on like bouncing, and finally we all got back together and stuff. And Johannes was there that plays Victor Saz, and he was just like, and we're like, bro, what are you looking at? And he was like, that's Harley Quinn. And I was like, yeah, dude, like you were in 2 seasons with her. And he was like, I've never met her though. And I was like, what? And then like I had to like step back, and I was like, I forget how separated everybody was. And you know what I mean? Like there was you hundreds of thousands of miles away. Like everybody, it was like crazy, dude. Like I always forget that we weren't like an actual everybody getting together. It was just me and Mike getting with everyone, or in your case, talking. You know what I mean? Like, so that's crazy to me.
I think I've only ever talked to you, Joel, Glenda, I think maybe Brandon.
Oh yeah.
And
Brandon's a really cool guy. He's really he's nothing. It's crazy because he's the most polite, soft-spoken gentleman, and then he plays Mad Hatter, and you're like, what? Okay.
Really religious too.
Really religious. Yeah. That's why I love Brandon even more, because I know he's super religious, and I'll be like, Brandon, like, read this script, and I could see his eyebrow going up, like, and I'm like, I love you. And he was like, okay, man, for you. Like he always does. I know like this ain't really his cup of tea. And he always is a trooper for me. Like I appreciate him a lot. He's cool. Really good guy.
Yeah. Which getting into that aspect, like that's something like we talked about, like things that we do differently. And when it comes to Lonnie, when it comes to Lonnie's motivation, I think that's one thing that I would like to bring in, like his relationship with religion, because his whole theory is like, I have to prove to God that like I'm a good person because I choose to be, and not because I'm a coward. So just from that, you can tell like, okay, he takes his religion at least seriously. I think there's even a quote that says he goes to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
So I think that with that, and there's 2 things I get hung up on. He says I go to church every Sunday and I treat my girl right. So I'm thinking like, okay, that can maybe play around with that.
Yeah.
So So I don't know.
We are for sure gonna have to talk, because we have a lot that we still want to say. It sounds like, you know what I mean. So. All right, brother, though, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up so it can stay under an hour, because I think I'm going to try to put this on, I don't know what happened to our Cruella Instagram. I don't know what happened. So we had to start a new one, but I want this to go on there on the TV. So we'll, you want anybody to follow you anywhere or anything like that?
Not yet.
All right, then.
Once we kind of get some stuff out, I'll see if I can get the channel back up and running. And otherwise, I'm just kind of a freelancer for Cruella Entertainment. So, yeah.
All right, then. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back soon.
All right. See ya.